Well, happy Friday Eve, and thank you for joining us here at Swag Her Magazine for another episode of What's Going On. I am your host, Jennifer Harris, and I am so excited as we have with us Shanee, a devoted wife, mother, teacher on a mission to create a positive narrative for Black love. She has authored over 40 books, is dedicated to Black love. All of them are dedicated to Black love. I like this. Her work promotes healthy, loving, sexy, and successful relationships between professional Black women and men. She is married to her college sweetheart for over 26 years, and I'm just so excited to hear about how she is supporting the Black community. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
I can't complain. It is almost Friday. I call it Friday Eve.
Yes.
And I'm excited to be
Yes.
lazy.
Yes, to be lazy because these last few days, whew, they have been busy.
Awesome. But I'm sure it has been good times with family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, let's talk about Black love. How did you come about? Why is that a passion of yours? I'm gonna get to who you are, but I want to start with that because I want to also talk about this 26 years. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. I guess it really because I'm Black. Obviously, that's the obvious one, and I am married to a Black man.
Yeah.
But mostly because of how the media tends to portray Black men and women in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the media doesn't portray Black people in a positive light in general, regardless of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as relationships, they try to write the narrative that Black men don't love Black women, that Black women don't support Black men, and they have this narrative. So my goal is to remind people that that's not the case.
Yeah, I like that. I saw the post the other day was sharing what's some things you would tell a Black man, right? And she started pouring into that young man before he was tearing up a little bit because, like you said, they don't hear these things often. We don't always talk about this of how we do love and appreciate and care for those that are around us. And I appreciate that it's not just Black women, but it's also Black men because we all both need to know that we are loved.
Yes.
And that's my message. Everybody, you are
I have
loved.
a sweatshirt that says, it says, Black man, you are important. I think it says you are important. You are respected. You are loved.
Yeah.
And just to even remind that, and because I'm a teacher and now I teach, most of my teaching experience is high school, but I teach middle school now.
Okay.
So even my young Black male students, when they see that, they kind of read, I could tell that they're reading it. They don't respond, but it's like, they're reading it like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And they may not respond, but they still did take it in. And it goes to another day of like, gotta be tough and can't cry. They say.
So when I snap on them in 5 minutes for doing something crazy, they know, like, I still love you.
Yes. Balance.
Yes.
I love it. So 26 years of marriage, how has that inspired you in your mission of promoting Black love?
We actually celebrated 27 years in August.
Congratulations.
So it is, we met in college, so we were college sweethearts. We started dating our second semester of our freshman year. And what I thought was not really about to be anything, but here we are 31 years later. But yeah, like it's not easy. I wouldn't say it's easy. For this whole 27 years, it hasn't been easy, but definitely the last probably 15 years has been a lot easier than those first years. Because we were so young. We didn't know what the heck we were doing. We didn't know what the heck we were doing. And honestly, we didn't have very many examples of what to do. And it's kind of interesting because it's almost like we are the example.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we're old now, so I guess that makes sense. But even still, like, we were the first of kind of our group of friends to get married.
Okay.
So, and most of those marriages are still married. A few people have gotten divorced, but for the most part, those of us that got married to our college sweethearts and kind of, at a young age, we are still together and still thriving. So, so it's a beautiful thing to see.
I love it. And when you say that of how the latter 15 years have been better than the first 15, I think that's so important to touch on a second too, because sometimes we get into the thick of it. We love them. We say I do, or we don't say I do, but we're with them. And because some things aren't going how we thought they would go, we're ready to throw in a towel. What was the the motivation for you to continue to push through in those first 15, like, I got it. We're gonna do it. And then
I
they'll be
mean,
on the
I
side.
feel like we all have our deal breakers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's never been anything in our marriage that has happened that has made me feel like I needed to walk away.
Uh-huh.
And then and I do think that when they say that children kind of make you rethink things, I do think that if we didn't have children,
Mm-hmm.
things that weren't as serious as I could have made them, I
Uh-huh.
may have, because I was young.
Okay.
So I think that because we had children, we wanted to make it work, for one, but also for me, because we all have our boundaries and our deal breakers. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
there was never anything that that was worth walking away.
Yeah.
But I do think that because we were so young, had there not been certain circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
we both probably would have handled them differently because we were young and didn't know what we were doing. so,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that had we walked away in those times, and had some time pass and matured, we probably would have had regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
again, we didn't have examples. There was really
Yeah.
nobody for us to go to for advice.
Yeah.
And in our immaturity, we could have let things, fester and simmer and not fix things that were easily to be fixed.
Yes. I like it. I like it. Thank you for your transparency and sharing that. And to those that are listening, if you feel like you're in the rocky area, don't give up.
Mhm.
We're always changing, we're always evolving, but it doesn't mean that we have to throw in the towel.
Right. The
We're
people we
growing.
were
They're
at
growing.
the people we were at 18 and 19 when we started dating, and the people we were at 22 and 23 when we got married, we are 50.
Yeah.
My husband just turned 51 earlier this month. So we are older and we
Yeah.
are wiser. And even
Mm-hmm.
when we reflect on things like when we think, like, remember that time when I got mad because this, whatever, and it's like, you was for real, like, you was for real mad, and it'd be the most menial thing, but at 23 or 24, 25, that was really major to
Yes.
me
Yeah.
or to him.
Yeah.
So it definitely, the maturity and taking time and not being so hasty, I guess, in your decisions, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely does. When you reflect back, that hindsight, you like, okay, I'm glad we weren't too hasty in this.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. All right. So who is Kate Shanee?
It's K Shanee.
Sorry.
Yes, long E. But everyone says K Shanee, and it's so interesting when people say K Shanee, because when I was younger, I had a friend her middle name was Renee,
Mm-hmm.
and her family called her Nene. And I would always be like, "Oh, Mom, I think mine should be Shanae." Like, I always wanted to like change it and put the little accent on there. And my
Uh-huh.
mom would be like, "Girl, no, it's Shanae. Like, that's what it is." So I always find it interesting when people say that, because I be wanting to tell my mama, "See, it should have been Shanae," because everybody thinks that's what it is.
Now,
So I always
well, let me pause though, because in our community, we like to create. We're creative. So
yes.
we're gonna let Mom be creative. We're gonna say Shanae. I got you, Mom. K Shanae. Go ahead.
So I I'm a teacher. This is my 20th or 21st year. I can't remember which. But I am ready to write full time. So this is my last year.
Okay.
I am not retiring because I'm not old enough and I have not been teaching long enough to retire, but I am about to quit. And I'm about to at least take a year and try to write full time to see if what I can do and what I can create, because it is so overwhelming to have a full-time job and try to write as if you are a full-time writer. Like, I'm trying to put out work as if I'm a full-time writer, but it's so hard. Like, I just be like, Lord, thankfully my kids are 21 and 24 and I'm not still carpooling and driving and dropping off and, doing all this stuff. But thankfully, so I don't have to do that part of it. But it still is very much overwhelming.
Uh-huh. I understand. I like this. And that you're saying that, go for yourself of, this is my passion. Let me see if you can do what I really think you can do. Because I think you can do it.
And I think too, like, it's not like my teaching degree is about to just disappear because I take a year off. So, and hopefully it'll be more than a year off, but I do need to take some time to just, put in the work as if this is my full-time job and see what I can create, because the things that go between trying to figure out what I'm doing with these kids and what I'm doing with these characters, child.
I love it. I love it. And I celebrate your boldness to do this and step out and do that, because this is really big. Go from the bread and butter to some bread, hoping that some butter gonna keep coming with you.
Yes, it most definitely is. So thankfully my husband is supportive, but he's so funny because he only just said it out loud, like maybe like 2 weeks ago. Like, he wouldn't like tell me, no, you can't. but he hadn't really, he just listened to me when I said, okay, that's it. This is my last year. I'm about to take this, whatever. He wouldn't say anything, but we were talking about something. And he's like, well, this is your last year. So, and I was like, okay, we on the same page. Like he said it out loud. So this makes it more real.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, in speaking of that, we see that we're going to get to 2025. But when you look at 2024, what has been your highlights of 2024?
I think that my highlight has been in March. I published my first traditionally published book with Black Odyssey Media. So that was very, very exciting. And in general, like I was able to publish 13 books in 2024. I had 8 romance books, 2 journals, a children's book, and 2 coloring books. I think that's 13. Look, I think that's 13. But yeah, so I'm excited that I was able to still, again, with this job, be able to, put those things out, because my creativity has continued to be able to flow. And I'm glad that I'm able to, still get those things out of me.
Yes, I love this. I love this. And I love a Black romance. I've been reading my little books. I set a goal to read at least like 30. I'm on 31. I'm trying to read at least 2 more. I'm into collection. Okay. On my Kindle. So this is pretty awesome. Did you always see yourself being an author? How did that come about?
I didn't. I used to read a lot, as a young person. I was grounded quite a bit, because I was bad. So I was always grounded. And this was, as I said, I'm 50. So this was before cell phone, social media, and any type of really electronic type things. So either I could listen to music or I could read a book. But I couldn't go outside. So I did a lot of reading. And at some point, I would say like maybe in my junior high school, now middle school age, is when I started to get more involved in sports. So then reading kind of took a back seat between, making sure my homework is, doing my work for school, and then, whatever practices and stuff I was doing, which, it paid off because I did get a track scholarship. So I ran track in college. And then even in college, there was really not a lot of time to read. And then once I got married and then, had my kids, it was always about them. And then again, I was a teacher. So then I'm grading, papers. And at some point there was like this middle ground where, okay, my kids are old enough to kind of be occupied. I done got this balance of I'm not about to be taking papers home every night and every weekend and spending all my time grading papers. I found this kind of balance, and then I started reading again. And then that's what kind of when I was like, oh, maybe I can write a book. People would always tell me I should write about me and my husband's love story. And I was like, I'm not sure what y'all think y'all getting. Well, we start dating in 93. So again, no social media, no cell phones. I think because we were both athletes, that had there been social media, it would have been a whole different thing. Like you might not be sitting here talking to me about this 27 years of age right now, because there was, I think, the lack of those types of things created. I mean, we had like a few things, but as I started, that was the first book I started writing, was our love story. And when I was writing, I was like, this is kind of boring. There was no drama. The little bit of drama that there was, it wasn't like enough, I thought, to like readers like, this is so interesting. So then I had to add some fiction into the facts, and the fiction had to kind of merge together to make it interesting. And then I made the story more current. So there was, social media and stuff in the book, because I'm like, don't nobody want to read this with this. So I had to kind of bring it up to date. So the first book that I started writing is Until the Wheels Fall Off, and it's loosely based. And I would probably say very loosely, because people be like, did this? I'm like, girl, no, that was not real. Because I ran out of stuff very quickly. I ran out of stuff, and, of course, so, and then I had to change this and change that. So there was things that were kind of sort of real, that were very much close to the truth. And then there was the things that I had to add, because there just wasn't enough drama.
And it keeps the people guessing, because they don't even know all the business.
Right.
Yep. I like it. Yep. Well, congratulations on the books, on the journals, and all that is to come. Recently, you were also featured in our Glow Through this season. Can you
Mm-hmm.
share about that experience? I want everybody to, check it out. The
Yeah.
link is on the screen for you to check out the full issue. But share about that experience and some of the key pieces of how that was beneficial.
I thought it was great. I think initially when the interview had happened, I was trying to promote my traditionally published book. So I was trying to get as much out there about me and myself and make as many people aware as possible. So it was a great experience. Just every dealings that I've had with Swagger has been very positive, very thorough, great questions, and I think very insightful because of the types of questions that you guys were asking me. It's very insightful. So I've enjoyed the experience. I've shared it in my newsletter. Even my previous times I've shared on my Instagram and Facebook. So I always feel like it's a great experience. You are very supportive.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate, being able to highlight amazing people in the community doing amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for the yes to step out and do the things you're doing. And we're just excited to be able to share a spotlight on you of what it is that you're
Yeah, and
doing.
I most definitely appreciate it.
Yes, yes. So in that, the article, we got the books this year rather, a couple more days. What do you see yourself doing for 2025? This, hiatus is one thing.
Yes, my hiatus. Just really continuing to write more about the love between Black men and women, and also just Black relationships in general. I'm very most of my books have strong friend and family units.
Okay.
So I try to show like the relationship between parent and child, adult parents and their, children, sisterhoods, friendships, brotherhoods, just to show like we have these relationships and they are what helps us thrive. So I try to have all of those aspects because I know everything isn't cookie cutter. Like, everything isn't, perfect. We have friendships that break apart, obviously, just like romantic relationships. But people mourn their friendships just like when they break up, just like they do relationships. So it's the same type of dynamic. It's just not intimate in those ways. So I just want to show like, we are stable beings, unlike how we are, portrayed. And we love hard and we love very passionately. I feel like we love the hardest of everyone. We have to.
Yeah. I like that. And I like that you said about that grief piece because sometimes we think it's because someone has died. But we grieve people, places, and things.
Yes.
So whether it is a romantic relationship, whether it is a friendship, and if we have children involved, our children also grieve because they were used to Aunt Sue, Uncle Bill, or uncle who wasn't really uncle, but he was a friend.
Exactly.
Because the presence that they played, the role that they played.
Yes.
So it's really important for us to be aware of that and to be in those feelings. As we reflect on this year, coming to and preparing for next year, it's like, oh, some people that started out aren't here, being okay that we are growing and evolving, but also seeing how love is real, how friendship is real, and how there are some benefits and not to give up on it.
Yep. My daughter got engaged in July. At the end of July, and she or was it, I don't know, the end of July being in August. So she's her wedding isn't until 2026. So she's given us ample time to prepare. But she's making her guest list. And she's like, can you just add your friends to the list? Because my friends have seen her. Like she's like, most of the people there are gonna be my people, me and my husband's people. Like your friends, they can come, they cool, but she knows who's kind of supported her through all of these different journeys since she was little. All the sports that she did, her jewelry making, her art pieces, she made these pieces behind me. So all the different things that she's done, my friends and our support group have been who has supported her. So she like, Ma, I need you to add your people, because so she knows, like she definitely knows that our friend group and our unit has been very supportive of her.
Yeah. And that's really important. They say weddings and funerals bring out the best and worst of people, right? So starting this early is amazing, but like you said, by the time January gets here, sometimes they have cut off. By the time February, March, April, May, things change, and being okay with that. And it hurts a little bit because they're your friends. But season, lifetime, or moment, being okay with that. So the dopeness is that your village has been her village, to be able to push her forward and through.
Yep.
Very nice, very nice. I love it. Congratulations to her. I'm gonna have to check
Yes.
out her art pieces. So I like to put some art behind it.
Yes. Yeah, that was her she's always been like super, super creative. She started making jewelry when she was 12 because
Okay.
she wanted some Adidas or something that was like $100. I was like, we don't spend that much money on people's feet that are still growing, ma'am. So I was like, I don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah,
She came up
yeah.
with the idea to make, she was like, well, can I just make some jewelry? So she started making like bracelets and earrings and
Nice, nice.
and I will post them. And again, the supportive village of my Facebook friends and stuff will be
Mm-hmm.
buying and stuff. And that's kind of how she didn't have a job until the summer before she left for college.
Wow.
So she was in sports, so she was in all the honors AP classes and in
Mm-hmm.
sports, but she didn't actually have like a real job outside of making jewelry
Mm-hmm.
until the summer before she left for college. That was her first experience. So whenever she would need money, she would be like, "I'm gonna make some jewelry. Can you post it?" And
Yeah,
that's kind of what's her thing. Like, I need some money. I'm gonna go buy some beads. I'm gonna make some jewelry, and people will buy.
I
During
love
the
it.
pandemic, she went and bought a bunch of paint, the what is it called, the vinyl, the whatever it is, the paint.
Uh-uh.
She went and bought Hobby Lobby out.
Yeah.
And during her boredom, during the pandemic, she had to come home from school, and she was making whatever she could think of, and I would post it, sell it, post it, sell it. Post
Yeah.
it.
I love
So
it. I love it.
yeah.
I love it. And my next question is something about entrepreneurship and how dope for your daughter to be following your footsteps as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what are some words of wisdom you give to someone that wants to go out and be an entrepreneur? Because it's not
Gosh,
for the faint.
yeah, it's not. It's definitely not for the weak, and it's interesting because sometimes being an author, I don't necessarily think of myself as an entrepreneur, but I've taught. Like my major was in business in undergrad, so when I began teaching, I majored. I mean, I'll teach business classes, so I taught entrepreneurship probably for most of my teaching career. I've only had like these past 2 years and maybe like a year, another year in between. I did
Okay.
not teach entrepreneurship, so I've always encourage young people to follow their dreams and not necessarily to wait
Mm-hmm.
until they're in their
Yeah.
20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, to start. Like if you have an idea and you have a support system, I'm always like, let's try to figure it out. So my students have come up with some great business ideas. Some have put them into play. But I do try to use my life as
Mm-hmm.
an example to say, like, I was this age when I started writing, but I've always had this kind of like, let's try to figure out something to do. My son started DJing when he was 9 years old. So even that still, he's 21 now. So as a 21-year-old, he has 11 years of DJ
Yeah.
experience because he literally started booking events, at that young age because it's like if you have a support system as a young person,
Mm-hmm.
follow that dream. See if the people that support you will support that dream. Because even as a young person, but also as an adult, you need that support. Like you need
Yeah.
someone to be your cheerleader to encourage you to follow those dreams. So I would
Yes.
just say go for it, regardless of the age.
Yes.
Just go for it. Like if there's something you want to try, the worst thing you can do is it won't work out,
I
and you
love
just
this.
keep it moving. You just
I
keep
love
it
this.
moving.
You said they were basically under 15 when they started these businesses and
Mm-hmm.
how you help to cultivate that. So to our listeners, if you have children and you're seeing in them that they have this business mentality, you want to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Because starting from 9 to 21, that boy is bad, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, and he's been DJing for the Bucks since he was 15 for the Milwaukee Bucks. He was on the radio the first time when he was 14. So
Yeah.
he's been on Sirius XM 5 times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he has a passion for it. But I just kind of imagine like if we had not said,
Mm.
okay, I mean, because DJing is not cheap. Now
Mm.
her jewelry, I can buy you some beads. We can go. That was a little different. But
Yeah.
honestly, his sister is kind of what inspired him because he kind of saw
Mhm.
her. He would be her little assistant. So when
Uh-huh.
she would go to like different little events and stuff, and he would be her assistant. So he would
Yeah.
kind of see her making money. So he kept trying to think like, what can I do? What can I do? Like, I need to make money too. So
Yeah.
his was a little bit grander.
Okay.
And we started off buying, we started very small. Like weren't sure if he could do it.
Mhm.
But I think if you were to talk to him, he would say that the support of his parents is kind of what, helped him to be able to follow his dream.
I love it. I love it. Oh, kudos, kudos, kudos again. And I know it was Christmas time yesterday, and how they'll buy like the drum set. Like, man, if that they did that from
Right.
one more time.
Yeah.
However, musicians, bands need a drummer.
Yes.
So when you cultivate that, You gotta bear through it for a little bit, and then it goes to be
Mm-hmm.
amazing. The violinist, the saxophonist, a
Yep.
trumpet player. You got to
Yep.
go through the process. Definitely small because you don't know if they're going to stick with
Mm-hmm.
it or not. Because
Mm-hmm.
just like us, we're like, I did like that yesterday, but I don't like it
Yep.
today.
Yep.
It's like the Wiz. I wouldn't be called dead in green, because green is cold now it's red.
Yep.
Um, we are fickle like that too.
Mm-hmm. As adults, we definitely are. Like things we had a passion for last year, it
Yeah,
sometimes just kind of falls to the side. So, as kids, they might as well, but at least try to kind of like see, because that's why we started small, because we
yeah,
were like, hold on now. This is expensive. So and it's funny because we started with the smallest little thing. It was like a little $35. They had one little turntable. You could connect your phone to it.
yeah.
And then we upgraded for Christmas. We bought this little $100 one. And then
Mhm.
he was making 80-minute mixes on this little thing in an iPad. His
I love
first
it.
gig was this little thing and an iPad and a karaoke speaker.
I love it. But it's the little things and not
Mm-hmm.
despise the humble beginnings because some of us have started some things and we feel like, oh, it's not going to be,
Mm-hmm.
keep going, keep going,
Yep.
keep going. It does work out. You just got to keep to
Yep.
it. Encourage yourself,
Mm-hmm.
get the strength of those that are around you that are encouraging you. Keep on going. Somebody's
Yep.
always going to say something. You let them say what they
Yep.
say. But
There's
you
always
enjoy
going to
doing
be
it, you keep on
naysayers.
doing it.
And there's always going to be naysayers for sure. And one thing I will say about becoming an entrepreneur, don't expect your friends and family to be your biggest supporters.
Come
Some of
on.
them will.
Come
Some of
on.
them will. But in the big scheme of things, if I only depended on my friends and family, some of my friends don't even read books. Like, period. Like, they'll share a post here and there.
Yeah.
They might
Yeah.
buy some books as a gift, but in general, they don't read.
Mhm.
And I don't want them to read to just be buying or just
Mhm.
say they're going to read. I have one friend who has probably bought, I would say she's bought the majority of my books, at least 40 of them.
Okay.
She don't even read, but she
Mhm.
wants them on her bookcase.
Mhm.
And I keep saying, like, you don't have to buy them. Like, I appreciate it. Like, but she's like, no, I want to have my own. Like, I'm like, well, maybe you can give it to us as gifts. She's like, no, I want my own copies. And she will buy some as gifts for people that
Yeah.
she knows read, but she still wants her own copy. She wants me to sign it. Like, all
Mhm.
that. Like, she
Mhm.
like, I want
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
copy, I want it signed, and I'm putting it on my bookcase.
Yeah.
So now my books might be the only one she has. But I now appreciate her support because that's how she
Yes.
wants to support. And I have other friends that if I'm if I'm nominated for something or if they
Yeah.
see the post, they'll share. I have some friends that they don't, it's like I don't even write because we don't
Mm.
talk about it. So
Mm.
that's just, it just depends on the levels of their support and the levels of friendship. I'm not gonna not be their friend or
Yeah.
disown them as a family member because
Yeah.
this is not their thing.
Yeah.
Any support I get, I appreciate it. But when entrepreneurs go into business and then they get so
That's not,
upset and so hurt that their closest friends and family don't support them,
don't do it.
you'll never make it.
That's a message, friends. I hope that we're listening to that part. Because also the assignment that we have is not necessarily always for them, it's for somebody
Mm-hmm.
else.
Yes.
So just trust that who you need to reach,
Yep.
we'll obtain it and we'll get the information that they need to
And
keep
don't
going.
end your friendships or cut off that family member because they're not
Mhm.
supporting you how you expect them to support.
Yes. Yes.
You never know. They could be praying for your success just because
Mhm.
they're not, physically, or you don't
Mhm.
see it that way.
Yeah.
They could be praying for your success. So don't cut off the relationship because they're not supporting you how they need to be. So they might be telling other people, "Oh, my friend is an author.
Mhm.
She wrote this many books. Go to her
Mhm.
website."
Mhm.
So don't cut it off. Just know that the strangers are going to be the ones that support you the most.
Yes. Yes. It's funny. I have a friend. I kind of adopted her as a friend. She did a series called Bubbly Brown Sugar, and I would tell everybody about it. I was like, "This is so good. It's so real." The guy was like, he couldn't sleep because God was on his heart to pray for somebody. I was like, "I like this. This is real stuff, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out over to her. I was like, "Oh, I just loved it," and things that sort. She came out with a season 2. I'm still supporting, still connected. Had on my podcast. I was like, "Oh, now I feel like I got a celebrity, right?" But she recently did a movie that launched on BET
Oh,
yesterday.
wow.
Christmas Day, BET. I don't know this lady from
Wow.
Canada, but from her work, I
Mm-hmm.
supported. And now I'm able to help push, encourage her.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I was so nervous. I said, I'm just grateful that all throughout the day you got encouragement because it helps you to
Mm-hmm.
know, keep going. But
Mm-hmm.
she went from her series was on like Tubi or like, some of the
Yeah, that's
that
amazing.
sort. And now she's on BT. I said, girl,
Mm-hmm.
go you.
Mm-hmm.
Tamala Baldwin, Blended Christmas, go check it out on BT
Oh,
Plus, friend.
wow.
And
So I've
she's
been
featuring
watching
a
some Christmas
too.
movies since I've been on break. I think I watched 2 or 3 the other day.
It's inspiring you. It's inspiring
Mm-hmm.
you. But
Mm-hmm.
all that to say, like, whoever needs to hear you, whoever
Yes.
needs to encourage you, will come along. Trust the process.
Yes.
Trust the
Yes.
process. I'm so excited. I'm
That's
definitely
so
checking out your books
amazing. That
now.
is so, and I've become very good friends with some of my supporters that I didn't know before I started. Some of these people I've never would have interacted with had I
Yeah.
not been an author, and they liked something that I did. They reached out in
Yes.
the inbox, and then we become really good friends. So we definitely appreciate when strangers become supportive and they support the way that
Mhm, mhm.
it's amazing.
She was so surprised. She was like, I thank you for your encouragement. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
Hmm.
you'll meet the person that will encourage you, that will pour back into you and give
Hmm.
you what you need to keep going. It might not be that girl that's been your girl for 20 some years,
Hmm. Yep.
maybe 5 years, but
Yep.
just trust. I like this. Thank you for that. That's good.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, you kind of share, about your experience with Swag Her. Thank you so much for that. We are so, so, so excited again to be able to promote you. I can't wait to get off of this so I can find some of your books, because you said I told you I'm trying to read a couple more this
Thank
year.
you.
And then I need some for next year. And I'll send you a message to let you know which ones are
Yes,
read.
please do. Please do.
Because I enjoy reading books. One of my friends was like, "How do you have time?" I don't know, but it's something I enjoy doing, so I'll go
Hmm.
get in here.
Well, you
I'll
definitely
be
have read more books than me because since I've been writing and since I've been trying to spend more time with it, and because I have a full-time job, I haven't read as much. But I did read a book like 2 days ago. I was like, I'm about to read a book, and it was so good. It was by Renee Wolf. I think it's called Running Game. I think that's what it's called. I need to look at my thing, but it was so good, and I was like, oh, and I felt so good because I have not had time to read
Mhm.
very much at all this year. This year has been the worst for reading for me. And I try to support other authors as much as I can with like
Mhm.
sharing their posts, posting it in my group, telling other
Mhm.
people about it. But I have not been able to read nearly as much as I
Yeah.
want to because I'm so busy writing.
Yes, it's okay. I got your back. I'm gonna read a couple of them. I'm gonna let you know which ones I read. I promise. Okay.
Please do.
Yes. So, again, you did share about your experience with Swag Her. We're grateful that you have enjoyed your experience. Two more questions for you. How can people connect with you?
I am on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. What else? X, whatever it's called. Although I don't go on X for real a whole lot anymore. But
Gotcha.
everything is under Author Shani.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
all
Awesome.
one, all one word, underscore, whatever. And then I
Awesome.
have if you want signed paperbacks, because I know paperbacks
Mm-hmm.
aren't as popular, I guess,
Yeah.
as ebooks these
Yeah.
days. But I am
Yeah.
on Amazon, so everything's on Amazon, Shani. And then if you want signed paperbacks, they are on my website at authorkshani.com.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Friends, I have posted up Casey Needs link tree, and I
Yes,
say the right
yes, yes.
um link tree. If you have an iPhone, you can screenshot it, and then when you go to your pictures, you can copy that link and put it right in. I'm sure that feature may be the same for droids. I'm just an iPhone girl. That's all I
I
know.
know,
Yeah,
right?
I was a droid girl. I don't hate against the two. But please, please, please do go ahead and follow Kay so you can get her book, so that you can see what she's doing on Instagram, so you can see what's coming for 2025. She also shared that she does journals. So, friends, journals
Mhm.
are really, really important to be able to write
Yeah,
some
like the
things
journals
down.
that I've done though, they are grief journals.
Oh, even better, even better. Tell
Yeah.
me about that before we
Yeah,
go.
so the first one I did was called Dear Mama because I
Yes.
did, I have lost my mother. So and it's really, and they're all exactly the same.
Mhm.
It's three journals. One is Dear Mama, one is Sister because I have lost one of my siblings as well,
I
and then
love
the
it.
other one is just called Love Always, and
Mhm.
it's just for any family member that you have lost.
Mhm.
But they basically start with Sunday through Saturday, and
Okay.
it's based like Sunday is like sing her praises Sunday. So just say
Mhm.
something like edifying, things,
Yeah.
positive things that you're experienced with that person.
Mhm.
I think Monday is like make you smile. Think, write down a memory that makes you smile. Tuesday is like tell the truth Tuesday. I told you I was bad, right? A lot of stuff I didn't tell my mama. So I just tell the truth Tuesday. So if you want to confess something, hopefully, she don't come back from the grave and get me together. But
Hopefully, hopefully.
listen. And then Wednesday, it's like each day of the week. So and then I think it's for 26 weeks. I think it's enough pages for like 26 weeks.
I love
And
it.
each of them is the same, but one, like I said, is Dear Mama, Sister, and then Love Always is always just a grief journal, the general one.
I love it. Friends, during this time of year, seasonal depression does come around, but being able
Yes.
to reflect on the joyous time that you had with your loved
Mhm.
ones is really
And
important.
the,
So,
the journals are written under my government name, which is
okay,
Katrina Anderson,
okay,
and the children's books and coloring
okay.
books. They're all under my government name because I try to keep it separate because I'm a
Mhm.
teacher. And
Okay.
God forbid these kids come across Shanee, because they're gonna be like, Miss Anderson, what is going on?
What is going on?
And I
What you
think
right?
some of my
You said that he did what?
yeah, when I used to teach high school, I think some of my high school students had come across, but I always said, because my social media pages are public, so, and I'm not about to listen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about to hide.
Understand?
Listen, I done told y'all,
Understand?
and I
Yeah.
never have told them my pen name. I've never told my high school students my pen name,
Mm-hmm.
but social media is social media, so you might
Yeah.
randomly come across something, and I tell them, don't talk to me about it. Like, I've had kids go, I think I found your TikTok. Okay, have a seat, because that's all. That's as far as that conversation is going.
That's all. That's all I got for you. I love it. Friends, check out those journals if you need one. The kids' books are always amazing. And it's nice to be able to see books that are written by us for us.
Yes, yes, yes. I have. I wrote the children's book. The first one I wrote with my son is "Mom, Dad, I Want to Be a DJ," and
Yeah.
that was the only children's book I ever planned on writing. To be honest, like,
Mhm.
people would always ask us, how did he start so young? So I had to sit down and just get him to answer probably like 20 questions, like,
Mhm.
how did you feel? Why were you interested? When was your, like, these things. So we kind of made a story out of his first interaction with the DJ, like when he saw it, like, how did he feel? What made him want to do
Mhm.
it? And then, of course, my daughter was like, if you're going to write a book with him, you got to write a book with me. Of course I do. Like, what made me think
Yeah.
that would not be the case?
Yeah.
So she was a natural girly from middle school. So she
Yeah.
used to wear her afro. So it's called Black Girl with the Afro.
I love it. I love it.
And then
Oh.
the third one is My Melanin is Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one is called I Can Be. And it just kind of goes through all the, like, not all of it, but several different careers
Mm-hmm.
that we can be when we grow up. And kind of encouraging, Black and brown girls and boys that they can be an architect, they can be a pilot, they can be a chemist, they can be a
Yeah.
mechanic, they can be an artist, like whatever it is, and kind of goes through. And the illustrator is amazing.
I love it. I love it.
Amazing.
Oh, I gotta check those out too. Oh, all right. All right. Just take all my coins. Take all my coins. But it's good support. It's good support. My last question is just what is something that you want us to walk away with as we are coming to the close of a year that has flown by?
Yes, it has.
What are some words of wisdom, kind of like your soapbox of what it is you want to share with the world as we close out 2020?
I don't know. I always like to tell people, because I didn't publish my first book until I was 43. I always like to share with people, regardless of your age, follow your dreams. Like, it's never too early or too late to do something that you have aspired to do, regardless of the age. Like, my grandmother's 87. I'm trying to convince her to let me help her write a cookbook. And she looking at me like, girl. And I'm like, no, Grams, I think it'll be great. So we'll see.
If she does, let me know. I like their cookbooks because they know how to cook,
Mm-hmm.
And then you learn different tricks because everybody does things a little bit different.
Yes.
But it still comes out pretty good, and it's food for the soul.
Yes.
Yes. I love it. I love it. And I also love no age is a number. It has no boundaries or limits on what it is that you're going to do. Whatever it is you want to do, I thank you for that. I take that for me. There's always some things that we're still trying to do, and we think that maybe time is close for that, but it could be possible.
It's never too late. Never too late. Like, I get so encouraged when I see people who are older than me doing something for the first time. Because it's just like, wow, like, you did not have to wait. Mm-hmm. Like, you did not have to. You could have been like, well, I'm this age. I'm 60. I'm 7. Like, it is so inspiring to see someone who is what most people consider, like, almost, you forget about that age group.
Yeah.
But to see someone who is older than me still striving and trying to accomplish their dreams, it's so inspiring.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Ooh, this was a good chat. I thank you so much. I'm about to go check out your books, But friends, be sure to follow Shanee. Again, let me find Instagram so I can put that back up there. There's the Instagram information. You can also go to swagheronline.com to read her interview for the Glow Through the Season. I like that, to glow through the season.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The whole magazine. Y'all got to read the whole magazine. Don't just go to my article. Read the whole thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Selfless, shameless plug. Yes, because we do a good job over there, Swag. I'll be watching the articles too. They do a good job.
I agree.
you're learning about some new people. You are getting connected with some resources that you may have
Mm-hmm.
known about, didn't know full details about. So y'all be sure to go over there and check it all out. If you are interested in being included in our 2025 directory, click that link that we put in the chat because we're doing some amazing things in 2025. And I can't wait to, have you back in 2025 so we see those books
Definitely.
that have come out, how it has been being on this hiatus, how you knocked out maybe more books than you thought,
Yes,
or you
man.
want to
I'm
try some new
listen.
things.
Listen, and I've been saying it. I used to be nervous to say it, but no, I'm telling everybody who will listen. At my job, they know I'm not coming back.
Yeah,
So I'm not keeping it a secret. We shouting this on the rooftops because we
yeah,
are manifesting this.
yeah. I love it. I love it. And that's it, friends. Go out, shout it from the rooftops, and stick to it. It can work out. Oh, so good, so good. So, friends, be sure to follow Swag Her Magazine on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, so that you know when we're going live because we are always excited to share about what's going on. If I don't see you again, may y'all have an amazing new
Yeah.
year. And
Yes.
guess
Happy
what?
New Year.
Whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. Age can't stop you.
Nope.
Ah, so good. Thank you again so much. May you have a great,
Thank you.
great day.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye.